Greetings. Today I will discuss the completion of the Reconquista and the contract that would lead to the great riches for Spain and a firm place in history for the previously obscure Christopher Columbus. Muslims had invaded the Iberian Peninsula in 711 and spent the next 7 decades conquering the region, a feat accomplished in 788 AD. It would take 8 centuries for the Christians to recapture it. Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand had begun their war to expel the Muslims from the Emirate of Granada, the last of the Muslim kingdom, soon after their marriage. The effort would take them 20 years. They finally succeeded when Spanish forces compelled Muslim Moorish Sultan Bobadil at the end of the siege of Granada on January the 2nd, 1492. The Spanish still celebrate the victory as Granada Day or Granada Day. The war ended. The king and queen of Spain now had funds available for other projects. One of these would be the still in the future contract with a man named Christopher Columbus. Since the blocking of the Silk Road by the Ottoman Turks, the only trade route to Asia lay in rounding Cape Horn on the southern tip of Africa. This route was long and perilous. Any nation that could develop a shorter, faster, and safer route would have a tremendous advantage over the other European nations. Columbus had waited 7 long years for the call that came in January 1492 from the monarchs. They were still receptive to his ideas and scheduled an audience for April the 17th, 1492. Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand met Columbus at their Alcazar place in southern Spanish city of Cordova. After listening to his plan, Queen Isabella initially turned him down on the advice of her confessor. After Columbus had left the court, he gathered his possessions and started to depart Cordova on a mule. King Ferdinand intervened and sent a royal messenger after Columbus and brought him back to court. After many negotiations, they signed a document entitled the Capitulations of Santa Fe. They promised to give him the titles Admiral of the Ocean Sea, Viceroy, and Governor General. They also promised to make him an honorific Don. They granted him 10% share in any riches the voyage produced. Columbus next began preparations for this historic voyage. This episode is based on my book, Colonial American History Stories, 1215 through 1664. The articles in the book relate much more detail on the saga of Ferdinand and Isabella, as well as Spanish conquest of the Reconquista. The book contains almost 300 history stories and presented in a timeline that begins in 1215 with the signing of the Magna Carta to the printing of the first Bible in colonial America in 1664. The Journal of Historical Events marks the beginning of the United States and serves as a wonderful guide of American history. A visit to my website, www.mossyfeetbooks, will provide sample chapters excerpted from each of my 130-plus titles, as well as links to purchase the books at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Apple, and many other online book retailers. You can also purchase books from me off the website. And while you're on the website, there's a button on there that you can use to subscribe. And if you do that, you'll be notified whenever I put a new post up there, which is about, I'd say 3, 4, sometimes 5 a week. And you'll also be notified when I publish a new book, which is somewhere in the neighborhood of about 8, 9, 10 books per year that I publish. Residents of southeastern Indiana can find my books in Batesville at the Walnut Street Variety Shop on George Street in Batesville. I hope you enjoy.